Hey everyone, thanks for joining me live. I am going to add, yes. Hi Debbie. Hey. All right.
Hi, my friend.
Hey.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Good. I've been walking around the city. You don't realize how much construction is actually happening until you try to find a quiet spot for a live. So if for whatever reason we get some background noise, let me know if you can't hear me and I'll just walk.
All right. Well, I can hear you. I think that's great. It's lovely to see your beautiful face. And thank you so much for joining me today. And
Of course.
this really is to highlight your expertise and really to reach out for help.
Yeah.
As I shared on Facebook, I'm on a journey where in my journey, body has been the last thing that I have really focused on. I've
Hmm.
focused on my mind, my heart, my spirit, healing in those areas, but
Yeah.
a lot of sexual trauma growing up, and I didn't realize how much it affected me in so many ways. It's kind of like a new beginning of kind of this journey of healing. And I know that by healing my body is going to be the path
Yeah.
of wholeness. And so meeting you is, you're so inspiring. Anyone who knows you or meets you right off the bat. I mean, we're new soul sisters, but it's very apparent. You have extraordinarily great energy. Energy
Thank
is
you.
one of the things that people often in the past have complimented me on also. And I say, you know what? It's because I take care of my energy. It's not
Yes.
something we really think about or talk about, is our energy and how important that is. But when it comes to health and fitness and what we feed ourselves and moving our body, I'm learning that's a huge aspect of being able to elevate our energy.
Yes.
Some of the
Absolutely.
some of the things that on my journey right now, I'm really looking to increase more of my energy. And I notice with you, you are very consistent with having a high level of energy. So I want to start out by just sharing where did your journey start when it came to fitness and health? Was there some major thing that happened to you or someone in your life? How did this all start for you?
That's a great question. My parents have always been super active and healthy, and so it's always been a way of life for me. But just sort of, to be very frank, it started out as a superficial kind of thing. I wanted to be in shape. I was 18 when I got into the fitness industry, and I was feeling, when you're young, you feel invincible. So I didn't really think about the health aspect as much. I know it came along with the fitness aspect. But it wasn't until probably mid 20s that I actually started thinking about my health because I was actually taking lots of stimulants and I started having heart issues. Like I could feel my heart seizing up. And that's when I started shifting over and starting to look at like that health piece. Knowing that I looked fit, I had a lot of energy. I wanted to know a little bit more about how I could make my body harmonize, with the way things are supposed to be. And then somewhere in there, my brother was diagnosed. My youngest brother was diagnosed with a rare cancer, an aggressive cancer called Ewing sarcoma, and it's a connective tissue cancer. It's often a pediatric cancer. And I think that's what really took me down the path of super health and wellness. After we lost him, because he was with us for 15 months after his diagnosis, I just really, really committed myself to teaching people how to live not just a fit life, but like a healthy, vital, transformed life from within. And that's taken me to places that I never could have predicted, which I love. I mean, I'm meeting people like you. Um, I used to be a trainer in LA. I was at the Sports Club LA, Sports Club Beverly Hills, and I went, Hollywood, different areas. And what I noticed is that when people do have struggles with their body or their health, as you know, I mean, as you probably know, like when you're working with someone intimately like that, it's kind of like going to your hairdresser, right? It starts to become therapy sessions and you start
Yeah.
to learn a little bit about the life. I really want to commend you, Susie, because you've actually started with the piece that I would ask my clients to start with, that internal piece. Because I can, as a trainer, take somebody physically from where they are to where they want to be by holding their hand, right? But if we don't get to the root cause of why we ended up in that health crisis, or why the extra weight is on, if I'm not there holding their hand, and sometimes even when I'm there to try to hold their hand, they will go back to either reproduce the same results, or it will manifest in another unhealthy way. So for me, having gone through the transformation work that I did, I went to through a year of toward a master's in spiritual psychology at the University of Santa Monica. Probably one of the best things I've ever done. It just transformed the way I live my life. But having that education and seeing my clients struggle through, I just started to take some of these practices, and within our session, we started working on the internal stuff too. So right now I'm working on a system that actually approaches fitness from the internal aspect and the external aspect. So it's mixing the high intensity interval training and the core conditioning with moving meditation, and just a lot of the transformational tools that will activate the best part, like just, I guess, give you the best expression, DNA expression that you could possibly have physically, but also to have that energetic, like you said, the energy. Your energy is so important. And you wouldn't go several days without taking a shower, right? That maintenance happens because you know that if you don't take a shower, you're going to start to get really gross. Over time, it could become a health issue. And really managing your energy should be the same way, but it's not talked about a lot. So, yeah, huge kudos to you for starting with the most important piece. It's going to make this process so much easier.
Thank you. You touched on, so I'm not a superficial person. I like to go deep. So you opened, you inspired me to go a little deeper with you. So in my journey, I know a long time, quite a while ago, I got in like a minor car accident, very, very minor, but enough where my insurance covered chiropractic and massage therapy. So for a year, I started doing chiropractic and massage therapy treatment. And what I noticed is anytime I would have an adjustment and a massage, I would be so emotional afterwards, and like for like days. And as I started going deeper in my journey, I've learned that so basically emotions are energy in motion, getting everything back to energy. And what we don't realize is that when we suppress emotions, and when we're traumatized, that's what we do. We have suppressed emotions in our body. It sticks in our body on a cellular level. So, being able to have the support system that is a holistic support, I think, is so essential, because there's a lot of misunderstanding about health and fitness. And I remember when I was like 19, one of my very first friends was Miss New Zealand and Australia Fitness. Go figure. So I started working out with her and training her, and she worked my ass off. She trained me really, really hard. I'd almost say to the level that pushed me beyond my limits, and it made me not want to work out for a really long time. She meant good, but at the same time, there wasn't the full kind of support system. It was just kind of the outside aspect, like you said, how you started, just looking good. That's not enough for a lot of us. We want to look and feel good and heal, so that it's not staying in our body. So I'd love to hear also, what are some of the correlations that you've noticed between mental health, because everything starts with mental first, and nutrition?
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So what you eat is probably one of the most important things that you can think about for your health from a physical standpoint. Of course, I'm into the fitness piece of it, but what you put in your mouth really just becomes part of your biology. And what I have found is that if you are eating, and if I'm not answering your question correctly, feel free to interrupt me, but if you meant it a different way. But when you're eating, for example, if you're eating foods that are disruptive to the delicate microflora of your gut, that gut and brain connection is huge, right? Like whatever you're doing with your gut is impacting your brain. So if you have a healthy gut, then it's supportive of a healthy brain. If you are eating foods that are causing inflammation in your gut, or causing you just, that are causing your digestive system to work overtime, you're actually impacting your brain in a negative way. So what people don't realize is that the depression and the ADHD and all of these conditions that they are just, a feeling of yuck, just not feeling good in your body, can be directly related to what you are putting in your mouth. And not a lot, throughout the years, the last couple of decades, I haven't heard a lot of talk about that. It's huge. It's so important. So, one of the things, and I'm going to come back to this, but one of the things that I talk to people about is starting from a place of self-love. We are living in an outside-in paradigm, right? And so the messaging that we get from everywhere is that once you attain this thing on the outside, then you will have the right to feel good on the inside. Then you will have a right to love yourself. Once you look this way, once your body looks this way, then you can feel good about yourself. And it's really so backwards, because what supports us in creating the results that we want is allowing ourselves to have that internal shift first. And so when we have that internal shift first, it becomes so much easier to support ourselves with exercise and with food, right? It's not us dragging ourselves through the process. We are doing it out of self-love. So for example, for myself, like we're on vacation right now, so we're going coloring outside of the lines a little bit, right? But because I'm so typically clean with my health, like I can feel the difference in the way I experience life if I eat something that really doesn't belong in my body. And so when I'm looking at the menu, I'm looking at it from the perspective of how is this going to make my body feel? And I love myself. I love myself in a healthy way. And so I make choices based on that, versus I hate my body and therefore I have to eat this salad so that I can look better, so I can love my body, which is the way most people will approach it. So once you've come to a new relationship with yourself, with your body, yes, and with yourself, that then it becomes easier for you to make choices. You start becoming, and you're dropping more into your body and actually feeling how different energies make you feel, different situations, different things that you eat, even different styles of exercise. And you start to choose based on what supports yourself through and through. And food is just a huge piece of that.
This is really inspiring, because you're definitely affirming what I believe to be true. And I'm the queen, I'm the goddess of self-love. So
yes.
I'm excited to bring self-love into this aspect of my journey. And also, to your point, something that I've really noticed, because I've started to practice conscious and mindful eating, is so I like that you have that mentality of like looking on the menu, not for like what sounds good, but like what, like longer term, thinking ahead, what's going to actually, like, food is medicine. That's another mantra I have to remind myself. But I actually noticed too, when I eat food when I make choices that are unhealthy, not only do I not feel good, that's what most people notice, but let's go deeper. You know what else I notice happens? My thoughts become negative, and I start on them. And that's what you were saying is why depression happens and all this stuff, is because the food, we don't realize everything is energy. So the person that prepared that food, what energy were they putting in that food?
Exactly.
Everyone involved with the creation of that food, that energy, that's why the meat, right? That's why everyone, is that what's being done to these animals. So when we look in terms of energy, I think we're going to have some new, I'm looking forward to looking at this experience from an energetic perspective. Because it's so, I get annoyed with hearing the same, I get annoyed and overwhelmed with the overwhelm of information, but also information that's just more on a surface level and really doesn't get to the nitty gritty of this stuff. So I want to move this past again to the fitness aspect, because I know that's where you really shine. Tell me, how do you stay motivated? Debbie, how do you stay motivated? How do you stay consistent and motivated?
Yeah. So again, it comes back to the relationship that you have to your body, because that will directly impact and influence the relationship you have with movement. There are endless modalities out there for exercise. And what I like to tell people is that the very best one is the one that you fall in love with the most. Exercise, this thing that we do where we go to a gym, we go to a class, really that is, it's not the most natural way for us as human beings. Like, movement is supposed to be just a part of our world. We exercise because we live in it. We do these these I guess we go to classes and we do things, and I'm not speaking against that by any means, but we do that because we live such sedentary lifestyles, right? So the purpose of exercise for me, like if it's the right one, you're actually able to enjoy the experience of moving in your body, really dropping in. And I've worked with people who are not dropped into their body even while they're exercising, right?
How do you know
Especially
that way? How can you
well, they're just checked out. So you can kind of see like their thoughts are here hanging out, and their bodies are just kind of in autopilot. And I've been there before, right? You're talking to them, they're not there. They're thinking whatever they're thinking about work. Can you hear that?
You're okay. I can hear you though.
All right. So, whereas when you drop in to your physical body and you actually start to feel what the the movement actually feels like, it's a very enjoyable process, and it is. And then to your point, you can do it wrong if you're not having fun. If it doesn't feel good, in my opinion, you're doing it wrong. To make a negative association to movement is a bad choice, in my opinion.
Okay.
So, so when people would come to me, back in LA when I was training, and they were expecting me to boot camp them, I just let them know that's not what I do. My job here is to get you to fire me eventually, because I want you to create such a great relationship with movement that you no longer need me to hold your hand. So I'll be here up front, but if you need someone screaming over you, like, do it, do it, do it, then what association are you creating with movement? And your body, loves to move. Like you said, we store things in our bodies. I've worked with people who have had trauma stuck in their bodies to the point where there was one woman, we were doing glute exercises, and she just started wailing. It just unlocked something, and she just started wailing right there in the gym. I just held space for her. I was drawing a lot of attention, but I just held space for her to completely, emote through that. And then she was fine, and we moved forward. If you're not moving your body and you've got that stuck energy, it just, you can get it out in other ways, but the very best way to do that is to move, like get your lymphatic system moving, like your heart rate, heart rate increases, and it's fun. So my even if it's just, at first, just walking, casually walking, dancing, just doing your own little thing in your living room. I'm a bad dancer, but I love to dance. So my kids and I will actually do living room dancing, right?
Love it. Yeah.
And we just have fun. So whatever it is for you, find it. Like, go out there and explore. If you don't like something, ditch it. Like, that's it. Let it go. Go to the next thing. I found that the best things for me and a lot of women that I work with are those things that they help us to drop more deeply into our bodies, be more centered, be more present. So yoga, Tai Chi, dance, and you feel like you're coming alive. And if that's happening, then you're doing it right.
I really received that message, Debbie. I think that is so unique, that message of focusing on movement rather than exercise. Exercise
Yes.
is like a triggered word. Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
do it, don't make me do it. But when you talk about movement, I want to move just seeing you talk about it. Like,
Yes.
that makes me want to dance. That makes me want to go walk on the beach. That makes me want to, it makes me feel expansive instead of contracted,
Yes. And that's exactly for me, that's the way all of life gets to be lived. If you're doing it, like, explore what expands you, what expands your energy, what makes you come to life. So if you have been going to a trainer and your trainer has been putting you through whatever, CrossFit or whatever, and it's not working out for you from a mental place, you feel like you're slogging yourself getting there, see about switching that up. You don't have to do just one thing. There are so many options out there. And for me, I just feel like the most important piece of it is to make sure that you are, that you're able to get to that Zen place, that really happy, blissful place while you're exercising, after you're exercising. The whole association is good.
Yeah. And, I definitely feel like in my life, most of my life, I've lived from here up. So that's why I'm loving all of these experiences that really are an ecstatic experience of embodiment.
Yeah.
Because it's so new. It's so new to experience. I think most of my life I've been used to experiencing just negative emotions. So even hearing you talk about the positive aspects of feeling in your body, it's a wonderful reflection because that's new for me.
Yeah.
And so I noticed even little things like that are being helpful, like being respectful and appreciating my body. I'm doing the silliest things and that are starting to arise. Like I'm loving my feet, thanking them
Yes.
for like
Yes.
supporting me every day. I'm so hard on my feet sometimes, and my hands and my stomach, like just starting to really like appreciate the different aspects of my body. This
Yes.
is all
Yes.
part of the awakening, but I don't know. It's just it's a very unique journey, and it's not just about lifting weights or getting on the treadmill. Like you said,
No.
there's so much more to this experience than that. However, I am living in Southern California, and
Yes.
there's a lot of really good-looking bodies around here, and I've been just very much just not ignoring it because I appreciate a beautiful body. I really appreciate it, but I think
Yeah.
definitely there's this part where I've kind of rebelled and been like, "That's them, that's not me." But now
Yeah.
that I'm owning my truth a lot more and loving myself in new ways, I am owning that I do want to love my body. I notice I don't like to like have full body pictures of my body taken, and
Yeah.
I want to be more liberated in that area. So are there any tips that you do have for when it comes to weightlifting or anything like that to be able
Mhm.
to get some results of being more having a more fit body?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you probably have heard you're not going to be spot reducing, right? So, when it comes to weights or to abdominal exercises, when you're doing those things, you're not what you're doing is not reducing weight in that specific area. So, building lean body mass is amazing because you will actually feel stronger in your body. You'll feel your posture will be better if you're doing it properly. You'll actually show up in a different way, and you'll be a fat burning machine. So if your goal is fat loss,
Uh-huh.
a lot of women will avoid the weights because they think they're going to bulk up, right? But we don't have the same. Our bodies are not structured like men, so. You can lift weights, and what will happen is you build your lean body mass, and your body will become that calorie burning machine. While you're sitting there watching TV, you'll still be burning more calories than you would if you were not doing weight training. And again, you'll feel amazing. So I like to do just like traditional handheld weights. I love the feel of that. It's not for everyone. And just a full body, like I actually will split it now, upper body and lower body. I used to do a 3-day split, but you can do a full body workout, and then you want to wait, at least a day in between, and then do it again, and combine that with a good cardio program, high intensity interval training of your choice, and I mean, your body will start to go in the direction that you want it to. I will say completely understand how you feel about wanting to your body to look a certain way, especially when you live in Southern California, because I used to live there as well, and I get it. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The one thing that I would just go back to is that we are so being conditioned on a regular basis about what things should look like, what our bodies should look like, right? And we don't. It's sometimes it's very obvious. Sometimes it's subtle. Starts very young. My children are already. My girls are 12 and 10, and they're already experiencing that. They've already noticed. Much to my dismay, but so what about that is like society will tell you what beautiful looks like, facial beauty, hair, body. They'll tell you what's appropriate for you to want in fashion and what kind of house and what kind of car and all of that. Having a right, and there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with wanting what society says is beautiful, as long as it is you're secure within yourself. Like so, what ends up happening for a lot of people is that they'll look in the mirror and then they'll look at the standard of beauty and they'll experience the gap between where they are and where they want to be, and they will associate that. In other words, they'll withhold from themselves. They'll withhold the experience of feeling love in their body because
Yeah.
because they're not yet where they should be. So
Right.
that's the one thing I would caution you about is that, if you're shooting for a goal to look a specific way, nothing wrong with that. And at the same time, you get to, like you're doing, love your body. Love your body, even because when you go through trauma, a lot of times, especially sexual trauma, a lot of times there's weight that's put on, right, as a protective, a way to protect yourself.
Exactly.
Right. And so when you look at how your body has like manifested extra layers and tried to protect you, you can even love your body for that. Like, there was a purpose for it when it was happening, and now it no longer serves, and you are ready to release it. And so you get to love that your body did that for you, right?
Yes, I love that.
Yeah. So as for weight training, yes, I recommend at least 3 days a week of weight training. Of strengthening your body, making sure that, first of all, as we age, we experience something called sarcopenia, and we're losing muscle mass naturally as we get older, and with that is increased aging. So when you weight train, you can actually directly impact, you can actually fight against sarcopenia and keep yourself youthful for longer physically. Who doesn't want that, right? And you'll look better. You will look better. And I just always go back to make sure that you're doing it out of self-love. You get to do it out of self-love instead of self-loathing. A lot of people will start on these journeys and they will be motivated by their self-loathing. They think they're going to a place of self-love on a path of self-loathing, and that's just not the way it works. Love yourself now, because even if you do get to that picture perfect place, it will be a conditional love if you don't get the inside right. Do you know what I mean? Like, you'll always be striving to maintain it and all of that.
Yeah. You have a phenomenal way of explaining this, because I'm receiving your message on multiple levels, and it's really speaking the language. I'm so glad I reached out to you, because it's exactly the methodology that's resonating with me. It's got to be not from an outside how you look perspective, but really, I'm proud of my curves. I can't wait to just tighten up and just be more fit. Like,
yes,
need to look like anyone else. Again, I love who I am, but I definitely know that I've put this off for a long time, and that just having these conversations is motivating as well. And I just so appreciate what you're doing and what you're bringing into this world. What is it that you wish? What's a strong message that you wish more people would know? Maybe not realizing. Want to share.
Your audio is cutting out just a little bit, but I think I got your question.
Okay.
I think when it's very easy, especially on this planet where we're physical beings, we can experience things through our five senses. It's very easy to think of ourselves as purely physical. We are multidimensional beings, and what I like to say is that, or what I like to call it is, so we have the physical part, which we work on in the gym, right? And then there's the mental, emotional, and spiritual parts as well. The conglomerate, I coined this term super body, and that's kind of what when I'm working on my program, that's what we're training, is the super body, the whole picture of who you are as a person. And I think we have this fractionated way of looking at fitness, medicine. We don't look at the full picture. We think we can address one part, and yes, by addressing yourself physically, it's all connected. So you will have some mental, emotional shifts as well. But as we talked about before, what I wish people would really get is that when you are approaching any transformational journey whatsoever, whether we're talking about money or physical fitness or health or any of those things, looking at yourself and your experience from that multidimensional perspective is so important. What got you to where, and is probably as well, Susie, when you're working with people, when a home is messy, right? That it affects how someone feels in the home, but also there's something inside of themselves that's being manifested through the home as well, right? So look at the whole picture. Like, what's going on here? Like, is the energy within yourself chaotic? Is it is it a mess? Are you are you lacking respect for yourself? Like, what's going on there? Because when you do that, you will experience lasting transformation. You'll experience up leveling in a way that just addressing the physical can't do it for you. You will have more energy if you just exercise. You will have, a healthier physical body. But, and if you don't address the energetic stuff, that stuff will manifest in other ways that you're going to have to deal with later on anyway, right? You're going to have to clean it up. So that's the one thing I wish most people would understand getting into this.
And to kind of wrap up also, do you have any events or any ways for people to, how can people learn more about you and what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm on Facebook at Debbie Denova, Denova, Mommy Losopher, MOMMILOSOPHER. I'm on Instagram at Mommy Losopher, and I also run 2 Facebook groups. The Sparkle and Slay Collective is for women only who are looking to shine from the inside out. It's a transformation group. So women are welcome there. Just ask ask for an invite. And then Health Revolutionaries is for men and women. Anyone who's looking to biohack their systems, come join us in there, come play and contribute. I would love to work with you.
Oh, I love that. Biohack your system.
Yes.
That's great. Awesome.
I know.
Well, and I know every time I'm seeing your posts on the private group, it's, again, anytime I just see you, you've got this radiant energy. It's very uplifting. It's contagious.
Thank you.
So thank you again so much for taking the time and helping support me in my journey. And I'm definitely sharing this with my community. So thank you so very much.
It's my honor. Thank you so much for having me on.
All right. We'll talk to you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.